Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. Today I'm going to be going over another piece of Bigfoot footage. This one's from Canada from 2014. It was uploaded to YouTube on January 30th of 2014. And it's from Saskatchewan. It was shot near the town of CRAVEN. If you're not familiar with Canada or Saskatchewan, CRAVEN is located just north of Regina, which is the capital of Saskatchewan. A very strange place to have a sighting of Bigfoot, which raises some skepticism in me, obviously. This region is not very forested. There's a lot of agriculture and fields, and it's not your typical Bigfoot habitat with vast forests and lots of vegetation and overgrowth. So in the video, apparently this family is out on a drive and they come across this thing off the side of the road. And you can see in the video, it looks like a head and a pair of shoulders. You never see the whole body, but it looks as if it's walking off into the bushes and out of sight. Quality of the video, not very good as per usual. Makes things difficult to analyze. We can't see any details like facial features or anything like that. So it could just very well be a person, or maybe it's a person hitchhiking, or a person who just didn't want to be seen, so they walk off into the bushes to get out of sight, especially when someone's, pulled over with the camera filming them. So I don't know, if it was a hitchhiker, I would do the same thing. If somebody was pointing a camera at me, if they pulled over and started filming me, I wouldn't want to be seen. I'd probably walk off into the bushes as well. I just don't think the possibilities of it being a Sasquatch are very high, just based on it being in that part of the province, in that part of the country. It's just not a suitable habitat, in my opinion. Now, northern Saskatchewan is the complete opposite. Vast forests, it's just lush, thick vegetation, it's extremely wild. If you've ever been to northern Saskatchewan, it is completely different than southern Saskatchewan. And I also know people who have had sightings of Sasquatch or have found tracks in northern Saskatchewan. I can believe that because there's not a lot of people up there. I once did a 12-day canoe expedition in northern Saskatchewan on the Powell River and the Churchill River. Never saw anything strange, saw some bears, and that's about it. But it's very rugged and very secluded and remote, and if you don't want to find people, it's a good place to go. But southern Saskatchewan, there's people, especially next to Regina, there's people everywhere. Again, like every other piece of footage, the clip ends right as the creature gets out of sight, and there's no footage after that. Why can't they just ever keep filming and maybe go take a closer look? It would help us out immensely. That's my issue. I can understand, if you have children with you, or your family. People were commenting on the Calgary footage that I posted a few days ago, saying why didn't you go closer to see what was there, or to try and find tracks? And if you have your little kids with you and your wife, you're not going to put them in any danger. You're certainly not going to go into the forest where this massive creature just walked off, if it was a Sasquatch, or even if it's a bear or a moose. Moose can be extremely dangerous as well. So you're not gonna go follow a massive wild animal like that if it involves putting your family at risk. If I was alone, I would probably go after it to see what I could find, especially if I had a firearm with me. I would feel a lot more confident doing that. But if I was out in the woods with my girlfriend, I wouldn't drag her into that situation. There's no way. I don't know what to think of this piece of video, and it actually reminds me of a story I have from a long time ago. I was really young. I want to say I was probably 8 years old, maybe 7. It was a long time ago. I'm originally from Saskatchewan. I was born in Saskatchewan in a town called Yorkton. And Yorkton's also in southern Saskatchewan, southeastern Saskatchewan. Very similar landscape to this Bigfoot clip. But it was in the winter. As I recall, we were driving through Saskatchewan to get to Yorkton for Christmas. So it was in the dead of winter. I was with my older cousins, and my sister was also with me. And so we were driving from Alberta to Yorkton, and all I remember from that drive, because it stuck out the most, obviously, was at one point it was a full-on blizzard. And we were driving along, and at one point in the ditch, there was a thing just walking in the ditch, in the middle of nowhere, in this blizzard. And what I saw was a being. I don't know if it was a person or a creature. I can't remember. All I remember thinking to myself was, wow, that person has a lot of hair. It's covered in hair, and it's walking in the ditch in the snowstorm. Miles away from like any town, obviously. There's a lot of open spaces in Saskatchewan. But this was like the similar landscape as to this video. And whatever we saw, we all saw it and we're like, wow, like what the heck is that? I remember it vividly. Like I have the image of it ingrained in my mind. I don't know if my sister remembers it. Probably not. I don't know if my cousins remember it. But I remember thinking it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest looking person I've ever seen. And at that time in my life, I didn't even know like what the Sasquatch was. I was not as read in on it as I am now. And that's not what came to my mind. At that time, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, I was just obsessed with Star Wars. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw that thing walking in the ditch was Chewbacca. Like that it looked like Chewbacca. And as we know, Chewbacca looks very similar to what we think the Sasquatch looks like. Just a tall, massive, bipedal creature covered in hair. And I'll never forget it. It almost looked like it had like clumps of snow like stuck in its hair, and it was just walking, and it was bizarre. And this, the funny thing is, I've never told anyone about this. I don't even know if I've told Doug about it, my best friend. I didn't tell my parents about it. I didn't tell anybody. I haven't really spoke about it at all until now. And this reminded me of that. But what did I see? I have no idea. I was a little kid. I was 7 years old. It could have just been a person. I don't know. There's a lot of weird transient people that go hitchhiking, so it could have been somebody walking along with massive dreadlocks or something in the dead of winter, like a hitchhiker. And yeah, when I was a kid, I never really associated it with Bigfoot because I wasn't aware as much as I am now on that topic. It's kind of related to this because, you know, almost the same region. Yorkton's not that far away from Craven. Maybe like an hour and a half, hour 45. My thoughts in the video are inconclusive. You can't tell what it is. You can't see the whole body. You can't see how its legs move. You can't see how long its arms are. All you see is the outline, really, or the silhouette of what look like a head and shoulders. So it's really hard to tell. And that's going to be the case with a lot of these images. Until we get some crystal clear 4K video, it's going to be really hard to determine what's real and what's a hoax or what's a misidentification. So those are my thoughts on the CRAVEN Bigfoot footage from Saskatchewan. On another note, yesterday hit 13,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. If you like the channel, share it with all your friends. If you want to support the channel, check out the t-shirt shop. If you go to the main YouTube page on the banner up top, there's a link to the merchandise store. You can check out all the t-shirts and stuff they have there. Any revenue generated there goes back into videos for you guys. It makes it a lot easier to get time off to go out and film this stuff and to take all the time to edit it. It can be a lot of work sometimes, especially with the longer films like the Expedition Sasquatch video. I'm trying to wrap up the second one as fast as possible. I want to have it done for you guys by the end of next week. I'm actually going out this weekend to the mountains near Nordegg to film some more expedition style YouTube stuff. And I'm thinking of maybe incorporating some survival skills and bushcraft skills into the video. We'll see what happens, but the main goal for the trip is going to be looking for Sasquatch evidence. In the winter though, it's harder to dedicate the time to searching when you have to build a shelter, get your camp ready, worry about staying warm, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, that's what's going on. Getting overwhelmed with messages. and comments, and it's getting hard to go through everything. If you really want me to see your message and get back to you, the Mountain Beast Mysteries page on Facebook is the best way to do it, because I instantly get a notification on my phone. With using the messaging system on YouTube, I don't always get a notification of the message, so I'll end up forgetting that, I might have messages on YouTube, and then I have to go back and check, and then I'm surprised to find, I have 30 messages sitting there that haven't been responded to. So I'd recommend going through the Facebook page, like the page, share the page. I'm one man, I'm trying to do a whole bunch of different things at once, making the YouTube videos, editing the videos, and posting them on YouTube. It's kind of tricky to manage my time in a way that's, catering to all the different websites. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this episode of Mountain Beast Mysteries. We'll see you next time.